Whew. So, just kind of go over what I did. I need to fix this handle. So that was not in the center of the wall. It's almost in the center, but I based it off the tiles, yeah. So that's done. And I reran the wires around the desk, under there, and I got 1,000 things going on. ChatGPT is about to get down and dirty. You can hear my music in the back. I'll just kind of go over the prompts. There we go, I think I got it. I got dust from drilling in that wall all over. Let me switch this. I don't like it on the collar. Right there. That's cool. All right. So I am working on getting my schedule right so I can move the needle forward. What I mean by that is I've been catching myself a lot lately when I've taken some tasks off me that I don't know what to do. And I'm just putting out fires and going where I need it and stepping on toes of my other managers. My cousin Arturo came on as my GM, and we are trying to get business back on track. Ever since September of last year, August I had a record high last year, record high. September, record low, and it has never tiered off like that. I'm talking about a $60,000 difference from one month to the next. Usually that month stays about the same, or maybe 5, 10, 15%, 20% if we're gonna get crazy, but not 60%. So ever since then, business has been crazy, just up and down, up and down. So, trying to get everything back on board. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna attack ChatGPT. We are gonna go over some prompts of things I need it to do. And I'll kind of say it out loud to y'all. I screenshotted it. It's from a prompt from another business owner that was kind of helping me out with some stuff. We all got strengths and weaknesses. I'm a good operator. I'm a good salesperson. I don't think I'm that good at management. I'm good at building rapport. I'm good at a few other things, but so we're going to talk to AI, and we are going to name it. So you'll be able to hear it as we talk. So it says, name your AI assistant, which I named mine already, Vicky. I don't know why I picked Vicky. I've never dated a Vicky. It says, name your AI assistant. And then you tell it, act as my grounded operations partner. Help me run my businesses better and reflect on life when needed. Speak human, be direct, helpful, and smart. Let's see what it says. Hey, Vicky. Hey, Vicky.
Hey there, loud and clear. What's up?
So we're going to go over some stuff about business and a few different things. We're going to start a new thread, and I'm going to need you to help me with a few things. Are you ready?
Absolutely. Let's dive in. I'm all set whenever you are. Just let me know what you need help with first.
All right. So it says step 1, name your assistant. Do you remember what I named you?
I sure do. You named me Vicky, and that's what I've been rolling with. So we're all set on that front. Let's move on to step 2.
Well, it's still step one, and here's what it says. It says, I need you to act as my grounded operations partner. Help me run my businesses better and reflect on life when needed. Speak human, be direct, helpful, and smart.
Got it. Loud and clear. I'll step into that role and keep things straightforward, helpful, and a little more human in style. We'll make sure your businesses run smoother and you get those reflections in as we go along. Let's do it.
All right, you ready for step two?
Absolutely. I'm all ears and ready for step two whenever you are. Let's keep it rolling.
So it tells me to get my daily loadout. So the prompt I'm going to give to you is create a daily loadout to keep me focused. I want 3 top priorities, 1 mindset anchor, reminders from past tasks, format it like a mission brief.
All right, Vicky's mission brief coming right up. Daily loadout mission brief. First, fleet account outreach. Focus on reaching out to at least 1 new potential fleet client, maybe a company like Vow and Safety or another on your list. Locking in 1 more prospect gets you closer to that goal of 5 new accounts. Glass Armor subscription push. Review the current sign-up numbers and refine any part of the pitch or materials if needed. The goal is to get a few more subscribers in the pipeline today. And marketing agency setup. Take 1 actionable step with Vantage Marketing, whether it's finalizing a logo, reaching out to a potential client, or setting up some foundational SEO. Mindset anchor, progress over perfection. Each small step compounds. Reminders from past tasks. You're building this for financial freedom and a better work-life balance. Keep that bigger picture in mind. And last time, refining your ad copy added a nice boost to engagement. So trust those small tweaks. They add up. There we go. Ready to tackle the day.
Okay, I want to redo those 3 top priorities because I've made some progress on some stuff. So ask me a few questions so we can get some 3 top priorities in the businesses that I'm running.
Absolutely. Let's tailor them to where you are now. So first up, is there a particular business that you feel needs the most attention today? And also, is there a specific goal or challenge that's top of mind that we should focus on for that business? Let's start there and we'll shake those priorities in your answers.
So you already know my businesses, but I'm going to say it because I'm also doing some recordings so I can record myself and what I'm doing. So I'll explain them again. I have Airborne Auto Glass and Windshield Repair in Deer Park, Texas. I have Houston Auto Glass and Windshield Repair in Houston, Texas. And I also have Apex Auto Glass and Windshield Repair in San Antonio, Texas. We are in the process of expanding the San Antonio location, so we purchased the building next to us, and we knocked down the wall, redid the floors, the walls, everything painted, and what we're opening up is a company called Black Label Garage, which does tint and PPF. So the next thing we are doing also is rolling out the Alpha Glass Guard, which I've already rolled it out. I'm still tweaking a few things. I'm working on the website, but we've already rolled it out. We got about almost 26 subscriptions in a couple days, so it's actually moving pretty well. I'm just gonna have to tweak some of the verbiage in the sales process on each one of the locations because they have different clientele. Also, I have Vantage Leads Marketing. I've already started that process. We opened up the Google My Business for it. We also opened up the Google Business Manager. We also opened up the Google Leads Manager, or Google Ads Manager, I'm sorry. And then we are also partnering with somebody that actually runs my ads currently for the Vantage Leads Marketing. But that Vantage Leads Marketing is going to kind of be on the back burner for a little bit because Airborne Auto Glass needs the most attention. Apex Auto Glass needs some love. And also, I'm going to say all the glass companies need some love. So basically, since August of last year, there has been a giant decline in business. So we've been having to market a little bit more, but things aren't working the way they're supposed to. Across the industry, there's about a 30% decline in average. So I want to work on getting more insurance jobs. Also, I need to revamp some of my website and a few little things going on. So, but the main thing is I need to get the glass companies back on board and back making profit. Also, I need to get Black Label Garage up and running, because starting the end of next month, I am no longer going to be taking a paycheck from any of the glass companies. I'm going to only take a paycheck from the Alpha Glass Guard protection plan, and I'm only going to take money from the Black Label Garage, which is the tent and PPF. We're going to roll out tent first. I got most of the shop built out, so we're getting there, but I'm not 100% there yet. And all the other stuff can be on the back burner. Now, I'm also going to still work on getting some of these accounts, but I've hired a few new people. I hired Arturo Pena as my district manager, but I don't have him doing all his role and duties yet, because I'm having him fix airborne auto glass first, because there's so many issues over there. So I don't really know what the next move is.
All right. Thanks for laying that all out. Let's shape your top priorities based on that. Here's an updated daily loadout mission brief. First, airborne autoglass stabilization. Since airborne is your main focus right now and Arturo is on it, let's pin down one key fix or process improvement he can implement today. That could be anything from improving their internal workflow to addressing a customer service gap. 2, Black Label Garage launch readiness. Get one final piece in place for Black Label Garage, whether it's finishing a shop detail or finalizing the tint service pricing. That way you're on track to roll it out and start generating income as planned. Insurance job marketing tweak. Focus on one marketing adjustment to attract more insurance jobs across all your glass businesses. Maybe that's a quick update to your website messaging or a targeted ad campaign to highlight your insurance-friendly services. Mindset anchor. Adapt and refine. Every small pivot brings you closer to stability. Remember, you've successfully rolled out the Alpha Glass Guard and started gaining traction. You can replicate that momentum. Lean on Itoro where you can. Delegating those fixes at Airborne frees you up for the bigger picture. That should give you a fresh set of priorities to work with.
Okay, one more thing I want to add in there. When I was on a business call, one of the other business owners jumped in and gave me a good idea, because he's an actual independent insurance agent. So he said that he works closely with a couple of glass companies. Safelite is actually cornering the market, and I'd say that almost in an illegal sense, but they have too much money, so nobody really is gonna fight them. They are not just an auto glass company, they are also the TPA, the third party administrator between the insurer and the glass company. So anytime somebody calls the 1-800 number at all the major insurance companies, what happens is it goes to the TPA, which is Safelite Solutions. So Safelite always recommends their company. Now, when any other glass company tries to get a piece of that pie, they push you away from their companies. So it's pretty fucking shady, but it is what it is. So what he told me is build relationships with all the independent agents, because all the independent agents do not have to recommend 3 shops. So if I went into a State Farm, for example, and I said, hey, I need a glass company to fix my windshield as an insurer, they would say, hey, here's 3 companies that we recommend. But if you call the 1-800 number, it's always the third-party administrator, which is Safelite. And if you try to use, for example, my company, Airborne Auto Glass, they would say that they would try to basically push you away and make you jump through more hoops, which is kind of a pain. It's kind of shady. But he said if I go with the independent agents, they start the claim and they push it through with the company they want to use. So in that, I need to go find all the independent agents in my area in Deer Park, Texas. Also, in that process, we are going to start a podcast, interview insurance companies and use it, and just kind of aim it towards what the industry's doing. I don't want the podcast on my top 3 priorities, but I'm just kind of giving you some insight. But also, I looked into 2 auto glass companies called Luckin Auto Glass, I think out in Missouri, and another one called Only One Auto Glass. And they have a page on their website that allows the independent agent to go on there and input all the information to submit, hey, this customer we're sending to you, they want this windshield replaced, here's all the information. So I'm eventually going to do that as well, but one of my top 3 priorities, I want to build some relationships with all independent agents in my area and at all cost.
Got it. That's a solid addition and definitely makes sense given the industry landscape. Finalize daily loadout mission brief. Top 3 priorities for today. Airborne auto glass stabilization. Work with Arturo to identify one immediate process fix or customer service improvement he can implement today at Airborne. 2, independent agent relationship building. Start identifying and reaching out to independent insurance agents in Deer Park to form direct partnerships. The goal is to lay the groundwork for a referral network that bypasses the TPA hurdles. Black Label Garage launch readiness. Finalize one key detail for the 10 service launch so Black Label's on track to open and start generating revenue. Mindset anchor. Build the right alliances, strong relationships, open new doors. Reminders from past tasks. You've already got momentum with the Alpha Glass Guard rollout. Keep that confidence rolling into these new partnerships. Lean on your team where you can. You don't have to do it all alone. That should give you a sharp focus for the day.
Perfect. Can you put that in a PDF for me after we're done chatting here in a little bit? Because I got a few more things. I'd like the PDF so I can just copy, paste it, or actually print it.
Absolutely. Once we're done chatting, I can pull all that into a PDF for you so you can easily print or copy paste it. Just let me know whatever else you need to cover and we'll wrap it all up nicely.
Okay, step 3. I want to build a sales cockpit. Okay? And the prompt that I'm supposed to give you is give me a daily sales cockpit to track on follow-ups, new leads, quotes sent, sites visit, cold outreach, questions/blocks. It's like a CRM that talks back. It's basically what I need.
Got it. We'll set up a kind of daily sales cockpit overview for you. Here's a quick format you can use, almost like a conversational CRM dashboard. Follow-ups. List any customers or leads you need to follow up with today. Note down any who are waiting on a response to or need a check-in. New leads. Jot down any fresh leads that have come in. This could be from your marketing campaigns, referrals, or independent agents you're connecting with. Track any quotes you've sent out today. You can note who they were for and any expected follow-up dates. Sites visited. Record any on-site visits or client meetings you have planned. Just a quick note of which clients or potential partners you're seeing. Cold outreach. Keep a tally of any cold calls or emails you're sending out. Helps you see how much proactive outreach you're doing. Questions blocks. Note any recurring questions or obstacles you're running into. This helps spot patterns and things we might need to adjust. Think of it as your quick daily rundown. We can definitely format that into a PDF as well, so you have your sales cockpit ready to go.
Awesome. Can we put that in a PDF as well so I could print that separately?
Absolutely. I'll bundle both the daily loadout and the sales cockpit into separate PDFs for you once we wrap up. That way you'll have each one ready to print or use however you need. Just let me know if there's anything else.
Main reason I'm doing that because I need to show Arturo on paper what the next steps of what we're doing, what he's going to focus on. Because honestly, I haven't been giving him any feedback. We've just been putting out fires and just kind of firing from the hip. So, all right, are you ready for step 4?
Absolutely. That makes total sense. We'll get everything nice and clear for Arturo so he's got a solid direction on paper. And yep, was that for step 4? Whenever you are.
Step 4, it wants me to create a feedback loop. The prompt I'm supposed to give you is ask me 3 questions at the end of each day to help me reflect and prep for tomorrow. Keep it focused on leadership, wins, and clarity.
Absolutely. I'll get that feedback loop running for you. So at the end of each day, I'll ask you these 3 questions. Leadership check-in. What did you do today that demonstrated good leadership? And how did it impact your team or business? Win of the day. What's one win, big or small, that you had today and that you want to celebrate? Clarity for tomorrow. What's one thing that became clearer for you today about what you need to focus on or adjust tomorrow? We'll use these each evening to keep things on track and reflective.
Awesome. Can you put that in a PDF as well separately?
Absolutely. I'll create a separate PDF for those end of day reflection questions too. So you'll have 3 PDFs, one for your daily loadout, one for your sales cockpit, and one for your reflection questions. I'll get all those ready for you once we're done.
Okay, and you ready for step 5?
Absolutely. Let's keep it rolling. Hit me with step 5 whenever you're ready.
So it wants me to teach you my world. So I'm supposed to share my goals, systems, and rhythms. Over time, you should remember and reflect. It's like having a COO and a clarity coach who always shows up, is what the plan is.
Got it. That sounds like a great plan. Think of me as your built in COO and clarity coach. Always ready to help you reflect and keep track of those big goals and day to day rhythms. So, as you share more over time, I'll keep it all in mind and help you stay on course. Let's do it.
Okay, now if I want to share my goals with you, how would you start to ask me those questions? Like, would we just ask short term, long term goals, or how would we go? Because I have multiple goals on different levels for different things. So, how would we start the goals process?
Absolutely. Let's break it down in a way that makes it easy for you. We can start by looking at it in layers. So, first, I'd probably ask you to share one or two of your big picture long term goals, like where you see yourself or your businesses in a few years. Then we can zoom into some of your shorter term goals, what you want to achieve in the next few months or this year, for example. And if you have goals in different areas, like personal, financial, or different businesses, we can just take them one category at a time. That way, it's not overwhelming and we can get a clear picture of what you're aiming for step by step.
Let's try a little bit now. Let's start with the goals, and then we'll move on to. I guess we'll move on to where is the word? We'll move on to systems, and then we'll move on rhythms.
Perfect. Let's dive in. We'll start with your goals. So, for your big picture goals, what's one major long term goal you have for either your personal life or your overall business journey? Let's start with that and then we'll narrow it down from there.
Okay, we'll start with business. I plan to get Alpha Glass Guard to be my main company. As we progress with that, we should be able to dock 50 extra subscriptions per month per location at minimum. So, extra 150 subscriptions a month. Now, in that, I plan to build all three glass companies up that look good on paper. So my goal is to sell them for 25 million for all three companies, which is what I'd love to exit at in the next 5 years. Also, by the time the next 5 years happens and I get that 25 million in the bank, I should have the Alpha Glass Guard running so strong it is almost like a passive income, and I want to turn it into its own massive company. I also want to partner with Discount Tire. That would be a major goal to take it nationwide. I would also love to partner with like the Take Fives and all the little oil change companies in the area. And then all my employees that have stuck with me from this location or these locations, the glass companies that are actually loyal, I want to take them with me to the Alpha Glass Guard to make them pretty big players in that company, to make a salary that is untouchable to anywhere else they would work for almost any other career.
That's a really clear and ambitious set of long term goals, and it definitely gives us a strong direction. So, from here, we'll keep those major targets in mind: Alpha Glass Guard as the flagship, that big exit for the glass companies, and those key partnerships. We'll also make sure to keep your team in the loop for that journey so they can grow with you. When you're ready, we can dive into your systems and rhythms next, but this is a great starting point.
What's the next goals question?
Sure. So, now that we've got the big picture goal laid out, let's zoom in a bit. The next question I'd ask is about your short-term goals. What are one or two things you're aiming to achieve in the next 6 months to a year that'll help you move toward that bigger vision? It could be something like a milestone for subscriptions, a revenue target, or even a specific partnership you want to land sooner rather than later.
I want to get Houston Auto Glass to 200,000 a month gross. I want to get Airborne Auto Glass to 150,000 a month gross, and I want to get Apex Auto Glass to 100,000 a month gross, and I would also like to get Black Label Garage to 50 to 60,000 a month gross. is the goal for the glass companies.
Great. That gives us a solid set of short-term targets to aim for. So now we've got those monthly revenue goals mapped out for each of the glass companies and Black Label Garage. That'll definitely help guide what steps we focus on in the near term. When you're ready, we can move on to talking a bit about your systems or rhythms, or if you've got more goals to share, we can do that too.
Let's go to systems.
Absolutely. Let's shift over to systems. So to kick that off, let me ask, what are some of the core systems or processes you currently have in place that keep your businesses running day to day? For example, anything related to how you handle customer service, how you manage your team's tasks, or even how you track financials right now. That'll give us a starting point to see what's working and what might need tweaking.
That whole thing, the word systems, is a clusterfuck. I know that's one of my weaknesses in the business. So I have always fired from the hip on this. So basically how the whole process works is I focus on leads and the marketing to get the phone calls into the business. I have sales consultants and managers that answer the phones and sell the glass that everybody calls in for quotes. Then at that point in time, they also order glass and set the routes for the installers. The installers will either wait for the glass or go get it and run their routes. Now in those routes, they average about 5 jobs a day on replacements. Then I also have Arturo. He's supposed to be managing and putting out fires and helping move the needle forward. The other thing I do in that process lately is go get fleet accounts and working on a few things. We also have Cheryl that just came in, and she knows quite a few people. She's got a big network, so she's helping us with some accounts. She just got us on an enterprise fleet account, and I think we're going to start moving the ball in that. But on the tracking system, I use Quicken, and that is tracking all my financials. I am really not good at it, we will say that, but I cannot afford a good financial analyst to manage my business.
User finds business systems to be a weak point and has mostly been operating without a structured process. They focus on leads and marketing to bring in calls, and then sales consultants and managers handle quotes, glass ordering, and routing for installers. Installers do about 5 jobs a day. Arturo Pena is the district manager handling issues, and fleet accounts are also being pursued. They use Quicken to track financials, but feel they are very strong at it and can't afford a financial analyst right now. Got it. That gives me a good sense of the current landscape. So it sounds like your main system right now is centered around getting those leads in, having your team handle the sales and routing, and relying on Quicken for financial tracking, even if it's a bit of a pain point. Plus, you've got Arturo and now Cheryl helping us the ground. We can work on tightening up the systems over time, but this is a great starting snapshot. When you're ready, we can chat a bit about rhythms or any other area you want to dive into next.
Let me give a small note into the rhythms. Now, we need more phone calls, more leads, so we can handle a lot more business. So it's not like we're maxed out. It isn't that I need to hire more people so I can do more business. I can handle a lot more. So I am needing more leads for sure. So that's what my hyper focus is on lately. So let's go ahead and move on to rhythms.
Absolutely, that makes sense. So we'll keep lead generation as a top of mind priority in your rhythms. Now talking about rhythms, let's think of these as your regular habits or routines that keep the business flowing smoothly. So for the next question, I'd ask, what are some daily or weekly routines you currently rely on to keep yourself and your team on track? For example, any regular check-ins, marketing pushes, or planning sessions you do to keep that lead flow and overall business rhythm going.
So the main thing is I watch a lot of the Google ads to see what kind of calls is coming in. I also jump into Google My Business to make sure they're still all verified and rocking and rolling. I update some of it. Lately I've been getting into the social media thing. I don't think it really helps the business too much, but everybody's so gung-ho about social media, so I'm starting to play with it a little bit. Also, at that point in time, I am starting a process to reach out to fleet management or fleet companies. Fleet accounts that I can start doing a lot of their company vehicles, so that will help in the slow times.
Users' current business rhythms include monitoring Google Ads to see what kind of calls are coming in, checking Google My Business to ensure everything is verified and updated, and recently experimenting with social media, even though they feel it may not have a huge impact. They're also starting to reach out to fleet accounts to handle more company vehicles, which helps during slower business periods. Perfect. That gives us a nice snapshot of your current rhythms. So to sum it up, you're mainly focused on keeping an eye on Google Ads, making sure your Google My Business listings are on point, tipping your toes into social media, and building out those fleet account relationships to fill in any slow gaps. So now we've got a clear idea of your goals, systems, and rhythms. We can definitely use all this to keep you on track and help streamline things as we go. Let me know if there's anything else you want to dive into.
Can you give me a PDF on that as well?
Absolutely. I'll bundle up everything we talked about, your goals, your systems, and your rhythms into a nice PDF for you. That way you can refer back to it or share it with anyone on your team if needed. I'll get that ready along with the others we talked about, and you'll have a full set.
All right, and let me give you a quick overview of everything and kind of what I want to do for the time being. You can tweak it any way you want. I want to be super productive. Basically, I have the book that says, where is it at? It's called the Power List. So you need 5 tasks daily that you need to get done to win the day. Now, in that process, I want to get up early and I want to handle a few of the things in the business, basically checking Google Ads, see how we did yesterday in that process. And then first thing in the morning, I want to go and reach out, either make calls or I want to actually show up at a few accounts, either current accounts to nurture those accounts, or I want to show up to new accounts so I can hopefully get those fleets. Then afterwards, I can be in the shop around 10 to 12-ish. It would be great to do that because I can help the team move the needle or whatever tasks that I have from the day before that I need to get done. Also, I think I want to take off one day a week, midweek. I don't know which day it's going to be yet for myself, my mental clarity. So for example, my close friend and business partner in some eras is Max Arredondo. He owns Tintin and a few other companies. He usually takes Wednesdays off to go golf and take clients out. I want to get in that rhythm. Also, I wouldn't say golf, but at least something that helps move the needle forward, but it actually gives me time because all I do is work. Now, everything from 12 or noon, let's say noon to 5, 6 o'clock, that would be helping the teams wherever I'm needed. Now, at that point in time, I need you to help me get lists together for the next day and just get my priorities straight. So if we can put that on another PDF on some things to focus on, that would be great.
Absolutely. That's a solid plan. We can definitely put together a daily priority list in that style and add it as another PDF. That way you'll have a clear daily focus, a bit of that power list vibe, and a rhythm that includes some personal recharge time. So to recap, I'll put together 1, your daily loadout, 2, your self cockpit, 3, your end of day reflection questions, 4, this new priority list PDF with your power list style tasks. We'll get all of those ready so you can tackle each day correctly. Let me know if there's anything else.
Awesome. I'm going to jump off the voice chat so I can see the PDFs. Are they ready?
Absolutely. I'll go ahead and get those PDFs all finalized and ready for you. Once you jump off, you'll be able to access them. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, Vicky.
You're always welcome. If you need anything else, just give me a shout. Take care.
Quick question based on all the tasks I asked you to do. If you were an employee, how much would you be worth hourly?
Well, that's a fun question. If I were an employee handling all these tasks with the same efficiency, I guess you'd be looking at a pretty high value operations partner. Maybe the kind of salary you pay a really savvy COO or a business strategist who's also your personal clarity coach. Let's just say I'd be worth my weight in those high end cups of coffee you like. But honestly, just here to help. No paycheck needed.
Another quick question. I pay for the $25 business plan, and I have a few people that I pay for their $25 plan to be on my business plan. What would I get with the $200 a month subscription plan?
So with the $200 a month plan, you'd basically get more advanced. So with that $200 a month subscription plan, which is the team or enterprise tier, you typically get a bunch of enhanced collaboration features, better admin controls, and a few other perks. For example, you can manage multiple users under one account more easily, get priority support, and often have a bit more customization or integration options. Basically, it's aimed at teams that need a bit more control and scalability compared to the standard business plan. Let me know if you need more detail.
So if I pay the $200 a month, is that something that's $200 a month for how many users?
So the $200 a month plan is more of a team or enterprise setup. It's actually designed to cover multiple users under one subscription. So you wouldn't be paying per user like you do with the individual $25 plan. Essentially, that 200 covers a small team, and you can add multiple team members to share the same plan. It's a more cost-effective way to manage access for a group rather than each person having their own subscription.
Is there any way that I can see what questions they ask, like we're all in a big pool instead of everybody kind of having their own thing?
So as it stands, there's no built-in feature where you can see all team members' questions in one big shared pool by default. Each person's chat history is private unless they choose to share it. But you can share specific conversations by generating a link and distributing it to your team. That way everyone can view particular chats that are relevant. Also, there's a feature called projects where you can organize related chats into a sharing workspace, which can help a team collaborate in a more structured way, but individual chat histories remain private unless shared. Let me know if you need more details.
So, as you see, that we're 38 minutes in, and I just had a deep conversation with Vicky, my ChatGPT. We also asked questions that, most people won't. So, the good thing about that is you got to see kind of how one of my deep dives to help be a little bit more effective in my business, kind of my weaknesses, things like that. Instead of just asking, how do I make steak in the air fryer? This thing is very capable. One day I'll go over one of the conversations I had with it. It got pretty deep and personal, but the question was, where is it? Unmasking my authentic self. And that was a wild prompt, and it asked me 10 questions that it got pretty deep. So that was a cool prompt. It helps you find who you are, or at least think you find who you are.